This whole clapback Thursday thing, I was kind of thinking about doing one myself for him, because I've got a great impersonation of him, but no, I just do it to the. But if I was doing one today, well, it's Friday today, right? So it's like, I don't know.
Eddie Hearn has meshed up some fine impression skills with his British humor. He has responded to Oscar de la Hoya's bullying with a flamethrower in the mouth. Let's explore some of the harshest bites of the British boxing giant. This online troll session started when La Hoya made fun of Anthony Joshua's defeat against Daniel Dubois. Anthony Joshua, Hearn's biggest prize fighter by far, was taken down by underdog Daniel Dubois. As a result, AJ's career was left in tatters. Here are the statements that frustrated Eddie.
Let's start with last weekend's fight in the UK. Anthony Joshua was knocked out in the 5th round by Dubois. It was actually an amazing fight, an entertaining fight, and I like AJ. However, this was another huge L for Eddie Hearn, who is literally 0-11 to Frank Warren this year. This continues the Matchroom Curse, meaning if you sign with Matchroom, you're either guaranteed to lose or get injured.
Later on, the Golden Boy Promotions CEO pointed out some other low moments of Hearn on the miserable night of the 21st. Some of them include Hearn's 11th consecutive loss to Frank Warren and his feud with Devin Haney. In addition, Hoya claimed Hearn couldn't build a fighter's career and had fumbled Joshua's career after his latest loss.
To make matters worse, Eddie Hearn faced off with his old buddy Devin Haney in the crowd at Wembley. Eddie, you can't build a fighter to save your life. Anthony Joshua had the world at his fingertips, and you found a way to fumble his career.
Joshua has brought in a lot of money to Matchroom and continues to do so if he's matched well. None knew that he would get beaten in such an upset. It wouldn't be a good idea to match him against Dubois or any other young guns again. But Hearn has assured everyone that he will always back his fighter. We met with His Excellency on Friday. I don't think he'd be annoyed by me saying that he wants to see the rematch. After ripping Hearn, Oscar moved on to another arch rival. This time his target was Dana White, who is planning his career as a boxing promoter. Will he be able to achieve this? According to Oscar de la Hoya, it would be immensely difficult for the UFC CEO to fill up boxers, considering that he would have to pay a hefty sum to them, unlike MMA. And speaking of Eddie, my other buddy Dana White had some high praise for him. Oh my gosh, Dana, you don't want to work with me. Oscar further added, I guess I won't be invited to your circle with Eddie. You realize you will have to pay boxers real money if you want to be in our sport, right? You called the godfather of promoters Bob Arum a scumbag and a piece of in a press conference last week. Way to start off your Neanderthal path into the world of boxing. Oscar de la Hoya also dismissed the notion that former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson was ripped off by his infamous promoter Don King. De la Hoya offered a fresh perspective on the controversies that surrounded Mike Tyson's financial troubles throughout his career. De la Hoya clarified that Tyson squandered much of his fortune on his own. Oscar said, people keep saying that Don King ripped off Mike Tyson and all that, but Mike Tyson made about $400–500 million. That's his money. What he does with it is not Don King's fault. These and other banters were enough to fuel up Hearn, who came with the most brutal impression. Along with voice, Eddie made the perfect trio by combining hysterical facial expressions and claps.
It's like, hey, welcome to Friday, because he does his voice, doesn't it? It go a little bit like this. It would go. It's the segment of the week where I pretend I'm really happy, but I'm burning inside.
Not only that, Hearn dissed his boxing rival by bringing back the sorest pains. He compared his relationship with the terrible experiences of Canelo and other Golden Boy fighters mimicking,
come on, AJ, he's the best build fighter of all time, but Golden Boy, who have you got left? Canelo's gone. He hates you. He sued you. Jaime Munguia, you pretend you represent him. You don't. He's gone to Top Rank. Virgil Ortiz sold a couple of thousand tickets and Ryan Garcia's banned, and now you're being sued again by Devin Haney. Have a great day.
Promotional rivalries are a part of the boxing world, but these two matchmakers have brought it to a new level. Genuine knuckleheads are worried that their bitter relationship could cause delays to some big fights in the future. But Eddie Hearn doesn't think the same. He openly says that Oscar's days in boxing are about to be over, and there won't be any major stars under his promotional company. His first-hand stance on Golden Boy Canelo beef was,
yeah, I find it quite weird, really. Like, you know, on one hand, Oscar's sort of, his whole mantra right now is how happy he is, and you know, look at me, guys. And there's obviously this thing with Canelo that just eats him up so much. I mean, the stuff with me eats him up, but this is on another level. And it's like this clapback Thursday thing, which I think is actually quite amusing. Like, you've got that platform there. Why would you use it to just continuously talk about or try and discredit Canelo Alvarez, who's a fighter that left you, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, it's over. You know, on one hand, you're this happy-go-lucky guy, and then on the other hand, you've got like this toxicity eating away inside you that's making your blood boil. Just let it go. Like, talk about his fighters, you know, Zurdo Ramirez, Zepeda, Munguia. I know Munguia's left him, but like the other guys he looks after as well. So like, I don't know. I find it a bit weird, really.
Eddie Hearn was gutted at the unexpected loss of Anthony Joshua and was triggered by IFL TV's provoking questions. Hence, he made the reactionary video in response to De La Hoya's clapback. Matchroom CEO was gloated on Oscar's tormenting words about him. He gave these words in response: De La Hoya is still a character. I don't take it too seriously either about what he says. I just think he's got a lot of demons, Oscar. I just hope he's okay. When he says, look at AJ, he dropped. He doesn't know how to build fighters. AJ is probably the best built fighter out of any fighter in our generation. Oscar is Oscar. It's another week of not talking about his fighters, who are all basically irrelevant. Moreover, Eddie Hearn thinks that Golden Boy promotion is on the verge of bankruptcy. Hoya is going out of this business at any time and doing these things just to reincarnate his brand. Eddie named up some former Golden Boy fighters and questioned why they hated him. Hearn further revealed, I am right with Oscar for doing this. Clapbacks. Because when you are finished in the game, you have to try and do something to kind of resurrect the brand or image. So those of his fighters are leaving him, and they are all publicly saying that you owe me money. You never hear a Matchroom fighter saying, Eddie Hearn, you owe me money. Everybody who saw Eddie's impersonating skills laughed into tears. Here is a spot-on reaction of Dave Caldwell, who begged Eddie to do this skit every Friday.
He hates you. He sued you. Jaime Munguia, you pretend you represent him. You don't. He's gone to top. Virgil Ortiz sold a couple of thousand tickets from Ryan Garcia's band, and now you're being sued again by Devin Haney. Have a great day.
Whatever you think of that guy, he's the funniest guy out. That is brilliant. Honestly, that's brilliant.
What do you make of all this sort of like soap opera and box?
Come on with that shit straight away. That's what I mean. He's funny, man. He is funny.
What do you make of all this soap opera stuff? And yeah, like that one.
You gotta do that regularly.
He's got to do
Regularly, yeah. Friday. Eddie, do that regularly. Every Friday in response. That's wicked.
brilliant, man.
We got characters in the sport, and that's what we need. Listen, I like it because, you know, I've got no vested interest in them all, you know. I just want the sport to be propelled. Yes, sometimes it's embarrassing. I find Oscar embarrassing. I was an Oscar De La Hoya fan. I watched him throughout his...
But this comic side is not the first time. Knuckleheads know that Hearn comes up with these hilarious impressions from time to time. Another promoting rival who is on the hit list of Eddie Hearn is Bob Arum. Eddie expresses his discontentment from time to time and keeps roasting this aging boxing legend. At one interaction with professional comedian Al Farran, they did these things.
Hearn, he is a joke. He came over here, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and he just makes mistake after mistake. He needs to get back to the UK.
But this was just the beginning. Eddie still hates Arum for his reaction after the Jack Cottrell vs. Josh Taylor fight and mocks him for rejecting the scorecards.
An amazing crowd, amazing atmosphere, and I think there's legs for you know, but you can't get in the ring and say, I'm never allowing one of my fighters to fight here again. And then just expect, you know.
And not only rival promoters, Eddie doesn't miss a chance to mimic Hall of Famers like Chris Eubank Jr. and Jim McDonnell.
I mean, if you look at the fight this weekend, you have Joe Cordina. He is an outstanding fighter, a handsome young man as well, a GB Olympian. But Agawa is the king from Japan. He is hard-hitting, he is strong, he is relentless, he is the champion.
Moving forward, Eddie Hearn revealed that Anthony Joshua and Matchroom Boxing have one final bout lined up as part of their contract with Riyadh Season, and he believes all signs point to a high-stakes rematch with Daniel Dubois. Hearn has already secured the backing of Turki Alalshik, who also wants this. Hearn stated, His Excellency will deal with Frank and Daniel and make that fight happen. Our meetings with His Excellency, he wants a rematch. AJ will always want the rematch. Daniel wants the rematch too. It's the biggest fight for him, and they will fancy it. Coming back to the other main character of our video, Oscar De La Hoya has sworn that he will counter Eddie with an even more disturbing clapback on Thursday. He has posted a tweet that states, My lord, this will be my best clapback Thursday yet. See you next week. Let's see what happens next. Moving forward, Eddie Hearn has made a big advancement in the sport of boxing. He has promised his fans that he will bring back the main event of fight nights to 9 p.m. There won't be any waits for the midnights in British boxing.
Next week, we begin all our meetings at the HQ about how we're going to change the shows for 2025. One of the big things is a 9 p.m. main event, like guaranteed, or as close to guaranteed as possible. What a difference it makes. You know, historically, boxing is always dragged on, isn't it, till like 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, 11 p.m. main event. It doesn't have to be like that.
So, what are your thoughts about this? Do you see it happen? Moreover, are you anticipating a regular clapback from Eddie Hearn? Tell us in the comments. If you found the content interesting, please like and share the video. Lastly, please support us by subscribing to our channel.